Welcome back to part 4 of our Risk in Action series. In the last episode, we explored how to assess and prioritize risks using qualitative and semi-quantitative methods. If you missed it, make sure to go back and watch part 3. It lays the foundation for everything we'll cover today. Now we shift into strategic territory. This episode is all about comparative risk assessment and decision-based tools like multi-criteria decision analysis, or MCDA. Because in the real world, you're not just analyzing one hazard at a time. You're deciding who to inspect first, which products to test, and where to place your resources. And to do that fairly and transparently, you need structured tools that reflect your real-world priorities. Let's dive in. Let's shift perspective for a moment. Imagine you're a food safety regulator, or even part of a company managing dozens or hundreds of suppliers, products, or facilities. How do you decide who or what gets inspected first? That's where comparative or ranking-based risk assessments come in. Think of this approach not as analyzing one hazard in isolation, but as comparing multiple items across a set of risk factors. What kinds of factors? You might include product risk. Does the food pose high inherent risk? Think raw milk versus bottled water. Company compliance history. Have there been past violations or recalls? Time since last inspection. How long has it been since oversight was done? Volume of production. Could a single failure affect thousands or millions of people? Potential for fraud. Is the product prone to economic adulteration? Export risk. Could issues damage trade or national reputation? Consumer vulnerability. Are the products mainly consumed by children, elderly, or immunocompromised? Each factor is assigned a weight depending on its relevance, and each entity is scored across those criteria. Why is this so powerful? Because it makes the decision-making process transparent, structured, and based on evidence, not assumptions or pressure. It doesn't pretend to be perfect, but it helps answer questions like, where should I send inspectors first? Which companies need more frequent oversight? What sectors require stronger regulation? You don't need to worry about choosing the right weights. That's your job as the expert, grounded in context, data, and values. This is risk assessment not just as a scientific tool, but as a strategic compass. Up next, we'll look at how to apply this logic when comparing complex decisions, like choosing between different control strategies or interventions, through a method called MCDA, multi-criteria decision analysis. It's risk assessment, but now with strategy built in. Imagine you're a regulator with limited time, people, and budget. You have hundreds of companies to inspect, but not all of them pose the same level of risk. So how do you choose where to go first? This is where MCDA, multi-criteria decision analysis, becomes a game changer. It's more than a risk matrix. It's a scientific, transparent way to prioritize across a large list of targets using clear, risk-based criteria. Here's how it works. First, think of each criterion as a lens, a way to evaluate what truly matters in your context. You're not making random picks. You're making evidence-based decisions based on what you know about risk. Which products carry more food safety risk? What's the company's compliance history? How long since the last inspection? Does this product have a history of fraud? How big is their production volume, and how many people could be impacted if something goes wrong? Is the company in a well-regulated sector, or one where gaps still exist? Do they export? And would a scandal impact national reputation? Are their products mainly consumed by vulnerable populations, like children, the elderly, or immunocompromised? Each of these is a risk factor, And you, as the assessor, are in the best position to decide which ones matter most. The key here isn't perfection, it's structure and clarity. You assign weights to each criterion based on your real-world understanding of the food system. Then score each company, or each product, against those criteria. The result? A ranked list that reflects true relative risk, not guesswork. No bias, no assumptions. Just clear, consistent priorities. This is where comparative risk assessment becomes practical. It lets you focus your resources where they matter most and defend those decisions when needed. And yes, this can all be done in Excel or through software. Just a clear framework, aligned weights, and honest scoring. Think of it as risk-based governance in action. Because whether you're allocating inspections, targeting fraud surveillance, or funding food safety programs, this approach helps you move from everything matters to this matters most. So with MCDA, you gain clarity across complexity. It's flexible, customizable, and grounded in the factors that matter most to your context. But what if you need more than clarity? What if your decisions involve population-wide health impacts, long-term exposure, or the exact probability of harm? That's when you move into the most advanced territory of all, quantitative risk assessment. Coming up next, we'll explore what makes it so powerful and why it's not always the right tool for every situation. Now let's briefly address the most advanced and complex approach, quantitative risk assessment. This method uses models, simulations, and hard data to calculate precise estimates of risk, often including dose-response relationships, exposure modeling, uncertainty analysis, disability adjusted life years or quality adjusted life years for public health impact. It's extremely valuable in high-stakes decisions and long-term public policy, but it's also time-consuming, data-intensive, resource-heavy. That's why it's mostly used by government agencies, international expert panels like GEMRA or JECFA, research institutions conducting microbiological or toxicological risk assessments. For most food companies in practical scenarios, it's overkill, but understanding its existence and purpose helps clarify the spectrum of options available. So, what's the best type of risk assessment? It depends. Need speed and simplicity. Use a well-structured qualitative matrix. Want more rigor without full-on modeling? Go semi-quantitative. Comparing priorities or strategies? Try MCDA or comparative ranking. Need exact risk estimates for national policy? That's where quantitative RA fits. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Risk assessment must always be fit for purpose, scientifically grounded, proportional to the risk and resources, and most importantly, it must lead to better decisions. Follow, share, and stay tuned, because smart food safety starts with smart risk thinking. If you're still with us, you're exactly the kind of thinker food safety needs. Because now that you understand how we assess risk, are you ready to confront what we actually fear? The real risks in food aren't always what headlines scream about. They're quieter, harder to see, and sometimes hiding right where we least expect. Watch our deep dive into the real risks in food to see how evidence stacks up against emotion and why our gut instincts often get it wrong. And if you haven't yet, don't miss the HACCP video. It's the blueprint that turns risk thinking into real-world control. Together, these insights connect the dots between science, policy, and the plate in front of you. Click, watch, rethink what food safety really means.